Thanks for checking in with my channel. What I have to update with you today is going to be part two. Um, Sorry, see my head's a little bit crooked. I'm not trying to. Uh, Sorry about that. Anyway, this is part two of part one of Wage Wars from my channel, which is Third Party Warrior. Again, as I said in the first video, I named it Third Party Warrior because um, I look at today's situation as a consumer, we're the third party, the consumer, the customer. And I created this channel because when you need help or you're just out there in the world working for something, working towards something, and you have an issue, when you go to try to rectify it, it doesn't seem to be help. Now, I worked this, I'm going to go back. Excuse me, I just got in. I meant to do this live earlier. Um, I'm gonna retrack my steps from the beginning very quickly, where I did a weekend outdoor event for 2 days. Mind you, this happened back in October. I was hired for the event. I worked the hours, then proceeded was supposed to be paid with within the next 2 weeks. I had a direct deposit, which a direct deposit went in, but it wasn't even a tenth of what I made or should have made, or whatever. I've paid very little. I then reached out to the person, the boss that runs the company, to try to figure out what was going on and why I wasn't paid the amount that I was hired to do. He did respond back to me and told me to go to this webpage to look. And I tried several times. The page never came up, and I tried to reach back out to him, and he ghosted me, as the kids say. So what I ultimately ended up doing was, I say that to say all that. I went through all that. Now, where I left off was the nightmare of dealing with the labor department. So once you have a complaint which doesn't get paid or underpaid, you file a wage labor complaint, which I did. You write out, they email you saying they accepted it, then you wait for the call. Well, I did just that. I wrote it, emailed them. They called me. Um, I'd say a couple months later, but I'm kind of skipping over the part where I actually called them before that, about 3 weeks in, to see what was going on with my complaint. Over the phone, I was told that I would have to wait several months. So I said, why would I have to wait several months? Well, that's how far behind they were in just getting to respond. And I was incredulous about that. So the person told me, well, call the governor and tell him to hire more people. Needless to say, I did get some type of contact maybe a month after that to say that they had received my complaint and they were looking into that. Another month passed. Uh, I received a statement from that they took out something for taxes, which had their address on it. So I then faxed that over to the person that was handling my case. A week later, I literally got a letter from the wage department saying that they were going to close the case within 2 weeks because they could not find the address. So I tried to call them. They said they couldn't find my case number. So I emailed them twice. I gave them all the information over the email because they didn't respond to me. And I said, hey, listen, here's their address saying that they where they are, because what it was this staffing place was coming from another state, coming to my state to do the event. But because it was done here, I had to file a wage complaint through the state I live in. So I left it at that. I didn't hear back from them another month. Another month passed. I received a letter, which very quickly, I'm gonna if you can see this. You might not. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but we'll do it like that. Okay. Says, maybe briefly, gave me a case number. Your complaint of non-wages has been received by the Wage, Place, and Workplace Standards Division. I have been assigned to your case initially to determine that the wages you are claiming are covered by current wage payment laws. If you perform outside this state, your employee is located in another state, our enforcement and jurisdiction is greatly limited. You will be notified of other options in this case. If if covered, an investigation then will be conducted through correspondence, telephone contact, or personal visits to determine if the wage laws have been violated. If the wages are not owed, you will be notified of this determination. Been If your complaint has been substantiated with the employer, we will notify you of the violation of the wages payment laws, and payment will be requested. Employer failure to cooperate may result in a legal action and will which could delay resolution of your case. Since we conduct the majority of the investigation outside this office, we, any additional information needed, which is not available on the complaint form, you will be contacted. So that was the wage enforcement agent who sent this. I would say if it happened in October, I got this in November. That was after that was before I got a copy of this business's address and forwarded it to them. So then I did get someone on the phone to find out where my status for my case was. So I was told by this person because I said to him, I said, "Well, you're taking a long time to respond back to me. I don't understand, why you can't. I sent you the information of this person's address." So I was then told by them that, well, we did reach out, but they were ignoring us. So I said, well, what am I supposed to do? I worked the labor and I put it in 16 long hours, stand on my feet. And, I should be paid not a portion of what I made, but what they was paying me because it was literally $20 an hour. So this person, wage agent, told me on the phone, well, if the amount is not above, $2,500, then we will sue them, but it has to be a substantial amount. So then I said, wait a minute. The person that initially handled my complaint said they will go after them for any amount of money. So they said, I said, now that you have my information, can you reach out to them, and now that you have their address? And she told me, well, yeah, but, if they ignore us, then, I don't know what the repercussions we could do. Now, keep in mind, they said they will go after them. They said that they will try to help me with getting paid. That's why I said this has turned into a nightmare because I want you to bear in mind this happened. Um, this happened in October of 2023, and to get my money from October all the way through to November, where I first filed the wage complaint. Here we are right now in the very last week or two of March, April, and still no action through this. And that's the thing why, again, I reiterate why I started this channel because as the working person, and you go out there, you do the work, and then you don't get paid, and then you have these people that don't pay you, and then you say, okay, my only recourse is to let me reach out because supposedly the labor wage for this state, they're supposed to help you. But if the people just ignore them, then what other recourse do you have? So you basically just work free labor. You haven't, and who does that? Who does that? And that's one of the issues, again, why I'm addressing this because this is something that no one's talking about. If you go out and work the job and do and you're supposed to get paid and you don't get paid, and then you turn to them to say, hey, I tried to reach out and get paid from them and they don't, and then they're supposed to assist you. That's what they're being paid for. That's the part that's troublesome to me because as a working person, as someone who's does the work and put it in, and you have no recourse. So if they just ignore you, then you just worked and then they just keep going on. Where's it? Why aren't there sanctions? Why aren't there this event place? Why isn't there recourse for you to contact them and say, listen, these people are hiring people, but they're not paying them their full wages? Why isn't that a part of what's being done? Now, I looked it up to see like how many people was in this wage labor, that part of for this state, and it says they employed 375 people. So you have someone working on my case who is not really putting forth the effort. So, what other recourse or am I supposed to do to get wages from now? We're looking at months ago to get paid. And again, this is why I created this channel, because this seems to be an ongoing issue with not only with jobs, but just being taken advantage of, and then nothing being done. And then you have state agencies that supposedly are supposed to help you, but they really don't make no effort to get, you know, now that money's months ago. So I never got paid for it. So I'm already out of the money. And, months down the line, here comes this company. Now, I guarantee you, this company is going to probably come back again this October and go to the same um, venue, because they try to run it every year, and do the same thing. And how many of them, have not gotten paid? Because this event that I worked, they had maybe a couple hundred people working at. So if they didn't pay me and only paid me a third, I can just imagine if they paid the other people that I was working with, that whole weekend. So like and subscribe, I'm sorry, to my channel. These are the type of issues that I'm going to be bringing up. So right now, that's where I stand, where nothing's been resolved. It's still in a holding pattern for the wage enforcement part of the Labor Department to try to get me my money. So I haven't heard anything back. It's been silent on this end, and that's the update that I want to give you. Now, if something else happens down the line, I'll create a live and we'll talk about that. But as for my next live, one of the issues I'm bringing up is going to be the continuing, forever raising rates on your lights, gas, and electricity. This has been a big issue, and I'm going to get into that not tomorrow, but probably Friday. I'm going to start the live off with speaking about the fact that there's been several increases, and in the state I'm in, it's a monopoly where there's only two companies here that you could get your power from. Yet they're continually raising the rates. But I want to have a lot more in-depth things that I want to share with you. That's going to go on in the next one. So I'm going to end this one with saying, I know I'm kind of amateurish, just beginning. Like and please subscribe. If you have issues, if you haven't been paid, let me know. Drop it into the chat and tell me. Give me your story of about how you've had worked the job and then you didn't get paid, and then it was free work. I guess that's what we're turning into now. But I'm gonna get off topic with that, so I'll give another update on that. So I'm gonna end this. So hopefully, like and subscribe. That like I said, I'll just come to you with the real deal and stuff of how things are working out here in the real world. And I just want to really draw attention to that, because these legislation and politicians come out and say things about how they'll help you and stuff. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, let's see if you're really going to do the help to help me and stuff. But again, that's the end of this live stream. I'll check in with you again. Please, I hope you like and come and also engage with me to let me know your story. What's happened to you? So again, let me end this on that, and be good to yourself and try to be a better person today than you were yesterday. That's what I strive for. I don't always do it though. With that note, I'm going to end on that. Have a good night and a good day wherever you are.